The main character in this anime is a somewhat perverted horny man who accidentally kills the hero and replaces him. The first thing he does after he becomes a hero is to order a beautiful girl to put on the maid outfit and do something shy with him. Later, taking advantage of his hero identity, he forces the shop owner to give him a valuable wand and even eats in the restaurant for free. So how could such an asshole become a hero? Let's start today's recap. The main character Tuka is a farmer in a small village, and his favorite thing to do is to grow a large daikon and imagines it as a thigh of a beautiful woman, then putting black stockings on it. One day, his childhood sweetheart Yuna coincidentally sees him putting a stocking on the daikon, and she can't help but taunt Tuka as an idle pervert who always does obscene things. The hero at the same age as him has fought demons around the world and saved the world. But Tuka thinks the hero is just so lucky to be chosen by the sacred sword. And 3 years ago, though the hero sealed the Hell's Gate, it didn't hold up for long, causing the demons now to be back on the loose. For Tuka, no matter what the world becomes, as long as his home and Yuna are still there, nothing else matters. Although Yuna is a bit rude, her beautiful face and ample body are what Tuka really wants. Thinking about it, Tuka can't help but crouch down to touch Yuna's thigh. Yuna is very angry, saying that Tuka only thinks about dirty things all day. Now the world is in crisis, and his village is likely to be attacked by demons. However, Tuka doesn't care, and he removes the camouflage on the floor, revealing the trap he set. In his opinion, this trap is enough to deal with demons. Yuna looks at Tuka just like she is looking at an idiot, thinking that this ordinary trap can't kill the demon. When they are arguing, a demon appears in the village, whispering that the meat of humans is the most delicious. The villagers all run away in panic, and Yuna accidentally falls, causing her to be caught up by the demon. Just as the demon is about to eat Yuna, Tuka makes a barbecue with pork. It turns out that he wants to attract the attention of the demon with the pork so that the demon will fall into the trap he set. Unexpectedly, what the demon hates the most is the smell of pork. Seeing that it does not work, Tuka intends to fight the demon with a hoe. At this moment, the hero appears and kills the demon in one slash. Yuna is very happy, and she is fascinated by the handsome hero. Tuka, who sees the hero and Yuna chatting, feels very jealous. At this moment, the hero is attracted by the delicious roast pork, and he goes over to taste this delicacy, only to fall into the trap set by Tuka, and he dies immediately. The villagers cannot believe that the hero who has saved the world died like this. After a short while, they begin to accuse Tuka and say that they will bring him, a criminal, to the king to accept the trial. Tuka hastens to say that no one will believe that an ordinary person can kill the hero, and if they give him to the king, they will be suspected and perhaps executed by the king as accomplices. The villagers panic, and eventually, at Tuka's suggestion, they bury the hero in a nearby cemetery together. As long as they don't talk about it, no one knows that the hero once showed up here. What Tuka doesn't know is that a girl is watching them secretly nearby. But the incident is not over. The next day, when Tuka wakes up, he finds that his face turns into the hero's, but it is a bit pale. To verify that he is not in a dream, he finds Yuna. Seeing the hero, Yuna thinks the hero is resurrected. Looking at the shy expression on Yuna's face, Tuka realizes that this is real. He immediately thinks that he can take advantage of the body of the hero to do something shy with Yuna, so he orders Yuna to wear a sexy swimsuit. Just when Tuka is about to make out with Yuna, Yuna smells the corpse smell from Tuka's body. She thinks that the hero in front of her is disguised by a monster, so she pushes him away and beats him up. When she learns that the person in front of her is Tuka, she can't believe it. Tuka also finds it strange, speculating that someone may have used some kind of magic to transfer his consciousness into the dead hero's body. At this moment, they hear a girl saying, "You can see through my spell. You are worthy of being the man who killed the hero." The two then follow the sound and find a girl in the trap who is trying hard to keep herself from falling into the trap. To find out what happened, they rescue the girl. This girl's name is Anri, and she is a necromancer who can manipulate corpses. She used to be a companion of the hero, who once asked her to use her power to let someone inherit his body if he dies one day. She thinks Tuka must be strong because he kills the hero. That's why she cast a spell to allow Tuka to inherit the hero's body. And last night, she wanted to hide somewhere to observe Tuka's reaction when he saw himself become a hero. But she almost fell into Tuka's trap. She feels that it was because Tuka predicted her actions, so she is more certain that Tuka can inherit the body of the hero and complete the mission of saving the world. Tuka does not want to participate in such a dangerous operation, and he orders Anri to quickly turn him into his original body. Anri threatens that he will be sentenced to death for killing a hero if he does not agree, and his original body is sealed in a small magic coffin by her. If she destroys Tuka's body, he will die. Tuka has no choice but to agree to Anri's request. Yuna has also always been eager to go out on adventures, so she also joins Tuka's team. After that, they leave the village and come to the nearby capital. At first, Tuka was reluctant to do so, but soon he finds that a hero is very popular with girls. Only then does he realize the advantages of being a hero. Though they are poor, he uses his identity as a hero to get an expensive wand for free for Yuna, and they eat a free meal in the restaurant. But he is a little confused about why Anri can be so poor. The hero's team successfully sealed the Hell's Gate 3 years ago, and she, as a teammate of the hero, should be awarded much money. Anri tells them that necromancy is a forbidden spell in this world, and if her identity is exposed, she will probably be executed. So she has been hiding and gets no reward, and only her teammates know her identity. After that, Yuna and Anri go to the Adventurers Guild, intending to take on some tasks to earn money. As soon as they leave, Tuka is stopped by two girls who admire the hero. They notice that the hero's body is a little smelly, and just when they are about to invite Tuka to take a bath together, they remember that many people have been posing as the hero recently. In order to verify the identity of the hero, the two girls find a bodyguard who met the hero. Unexpectedly, this bodyguard has an agreement with the hero to duel with him. In order not to expose his identity, Tuka can only barely fight. He uses the agility of the hero's body to avoid the bodyguard's attack, and then makes a slash with the sacred sword in his hand. But to his surprise, the sacred sword softens directly. The next moment, he is knocked down by the bodyguard with one punch. And later, the bodyguard thinks that the hero cannot be so weak and thinks that Tuka is a fake hero. At this moment, the residents have tied up Tuka, thinking that Tuka is smelly and must be a fake hero, with some people demanding the execution of this fake. Meanwhile, while Anri and Yuna are taking on missions at the Adventurers Guild, they meet Kyle, a descendant of nobles. Kyle is not only handsome but also powerful, and he always thinks he deserves to be a hero. Just then, they hear a noise coming from outside. Just now, Kyle has learned about Tuka's inheritance of the hero's body from Anri, so he steps forward to untie Tuka, and in order to make everyone believe in Tuka's hero identity, he gives the sacred sword to Tuka and asks him to imagine it as a huge sword. Hearing this, Tuka begins to do so, and the next moment, the sacred sword in his hand really turns into a giant sword, which the bodyguard recognizes as the sacred sword of the hero. But soon, the top of the sword is twisted again, which makes the residents suspect Tuka's identity again. At this time, Yuna takes out a quest from the Adventurers Guild, saying that as long as Tuka can defeat more demons on this quest than anyone else, his identity as a hero is real. The residents admire the strong and agree to this condition, and then they temporarily release Tuka. At night, they return to the hotel. This time, they have to kill more than 20 demons, which makes Tuka, who has no combat experience, very scared. He still doesn't understand why the sacred sword became soft and twisted, and his body is always smelly. Anri explains that the sacred sword's strength is determined by the mana of the hero, and the zombie body is also maintained by the mana. As for the mana, it derives from the spirit. That is to say, Tuka has really weak spiritual power. Hearing this, Yuna can't help but taunt that Tuka is a complete loser whose soul is totally worthless. At this time, Kyle proposes that since Tuka does not want to be a hero, he can inherit the body of the hero himself and become the new hero instead of Tuka. But Anri rejects it, arguing that Kyle has repeatedly challenged the hero and failed, while Tuka could kill the hero, so Tuka is more qualified to be a hero than Kyle. Kyle is unwilling to accept failure, and he takes the long sword in his hand, saying that he will prove his strength by killing Tuka. Tuka hurriedly asks Anri for help. He doesn't want to be a hero at all, so he asks her to give this body to Kyle. Just then, Kyle puts down the sword in his hand and explains that he was just joking. He will respect Anri's thoughts and will not force her. Immediately afterwards, he says that he will help them hunt demons tomorrow. Hearing this, Yuna looks at him admiringly, and Tuka is very happy. At night, Tuka still feels uneasy and sneaks into the room of the two girls, intending to steal the necklace containing his body while the girls are sleeping. But when he sees Yuna's thighs, he has a strange idea, and the next moment, he puts black stockings on her thighs. Satisfied, he leaves, only to find out that he has forgotten to steal the necklace. As he is about to return, he sees Kyle sneaking into the room intending to steal the necklace. It seems that what he said not long ago is not what he really thinks, and he still wants to kill Tuka to become a hero. Just then, Anri's necklace suddenly emits a strange magical light, which scares Kyle and Tuka away. Anri is woken up and finds that the defensive magic on her necklace has been triggered. Yuna, looking at the stockings on her thighs, has already guessed that it was Tuka who did this. Meanwhile, Tuka is still thinking about how to get rid of being killed by Kyle. Just then, Yuna rushes in and beats him up. Tuka is afraid that Kyle won't help him hunt demons if he tells the truth, so he can only keep it a secret for the time being. However, he is afraid that if he is alone with Kyle, Kyle will find an opportunity to kill him. So on his way to hunt demons the next day, he asks Henry to stay with him all the time. Soon, Tuka and his companions follow a group of adventurers to the nearby demon's castle, and unexpectedly, the first demon they encounter is the mid-ranked demon which has self-consciousness and powerful skills, and under his fierce attacks, the adventurers flee. Tuka is also scared away, but he is easily caught up by the demon, which directly pierces through his heart with its hand. Fortunately, Tuka's body is originally a corpse, so even though his heart is destroyed, he is still fine. Just then, Kyle takes action. He is really powerful, easily killing the demon with the magic dart. After that, Kyle takes out the demon's heart and gives it to Yuna. In this world, the demon's heart is the magic crystal, on which there is an incantation. People who recite the incantation can cast the spell of the demon. The more mana the person who casts the spell has, the better the magic effect will be. Before they can breathe a sigh of relief, a group of demons appears behind them, and Kyle also finds it very difficult to deal with because there are too many demons. Tuka is frightened and runs to the castle of the demons. In his opinion, the demons are all out, so the castle must be safe. But when they are in the castle, they find that there are also a lot of demons here as well as a lot of bones of adventurers. Now they can only fight. Henry casts necromancy to control the bones on the ground to fight demons, and Kyle also takes action. When Tuka is in a daze, his arm is corroded by the venom spewed out by a demon, and the next moment, the demon attacks Yuna, who is then sprayed with venom. Yuna thinks she will fall into danger, but only her clothes are corroded. It turns out that this demon is also a pervert like Tuka and likes to look at the bodies of beautiful women. Frightened, Yuna quickly flees, and Tuka hurriedly chases after her. He takes out the only women's clothes he carried with him to Yuna, and Yuna can't help but say that why Tuka always carries a bikini with him. As they are arguing, the demon catches up with them, and Tuka draws his sacred sword. By this time, Tuka has already thought of how to use the sacred sword. Because he has so little mana, the sword will soften in his hand. So he first uses the softened sacred sword, just like a whip, to tie the demon. When he is not holding the sacred sword, it will return to its original form and become extremely hard. The demon is still shouting for Yuna to wear black stockings when he is bound, which makes Tuka want to release it. Fortunately, Yuna doesn't give him a chance and uses the magic crystal they just got to cast the skill, finally defeating the demon. Just then, Kyle appears and knocks Yuna unconscious, and he finally finds his chance to be alone with Tuka. He easily breaks Tuka's sacred sword, and seeing that Tuka can't fight back, he tells his story with the hero while saying offensive words to Tuka. Kyle was born into a noble family and has a high status, not only looking handsome but also having plenty of mana. He always thinks he is the real hero, but unfortunately, he couldn't pull the sacred sword out to prove his identity, until the former hero appeared and pulled it out. Kyle completely collapsed. He thinks it was the hero who stole the limelight, so he deliberately approached the hero and became his teammate. He kept finding opportunities to challenge the hero, but each time it ended in failure. He thinks it was all because the hero had a stronger body, and now he finally has the chance to take away the hero's body. Every time he thinks of it, he feels so excited. After listening to Kyle's words, Tuka can't help but taunt Kyle. Although he is called a pervert by others and he has a poor body with almost no mana left, he won't complain about himself no matter how others treat him. For him, it is a misfortune to have the body of the hero, while Kyle wants to abandon his body to become a perfect being, which makes him look down on Kyle very much. Enraged, Kyle decides to kill Tuka, and at this time, Yuna wakes up and kicks Kyle away. Henry also controls a demon to spew out venom that corrodes Kyle's clothes all over his body. Seeing his conspiracy revealed, Kyle stops acting like a gentleman. He tells the people in front of him that Henry is not a human at all, and that the necromancer's heart is a magic crystal, so Henry is just a demon in human skin. For justice, he will kill the demon. Since Henry exhausted her mana in the battle just now, the three can only escape temporarily. Faced with Kyle's pursuit, Tuka transforms the sacred sword into a wall, getting rid of Kyle for the time being. Just then, Tuka asks Henry what Kyle means. Henry explains that necromancers are humans born in hell, so their hearts are also magic crystals like demons, and all humans look down upon them until she met the hero. If Tuka also dislikes her, he can kill her, but she hopes that Tuka can keep the hero's mission to save the world. Tuka tells Henry that it was Henry who got him involved in this kind of trouble and that he should have made Henry disappear. But thinking that Henry may grow up to be a beauty with plump thighs and live with him, he gives up the idea, and Henry is very moved, saying that she will definitely try hard to become who Tuka wants. Yuna also expresses her willingness to be teammates with Henry to complete the mission of the hero together. Now that the misunderstanding has been resolved, Tuka thinks hard and finally thinks of a way to deal with Kyle. They run to a blocked bridge, pretending that they have no way to escape, and lure Kyle to the middle of the bridge. The next moment, Tuka holds the hidden sacred sword, and the bridge where Kyle stands instantly softens and he falls into the sea. In fact, this is originally a broken bridge, and Tuka has just transformed the sacred sword into the bridge. After solving the problem, Tuka and his companions return to the city, where they exchange the magic crystal they obtained for a good reward. However, the money is taken by the shop owner to pay off their debt. Tuka isn't discouraged, intending to go to the king to claim the credit and ask for a large amount of money. During then, he discovers that his arm, which was previously corroded by the venom, cannot be recovered due to his weak mana. On the 5th day after departure, part of Tuka's body is eaten by wild dogs, and then his eyeballs also fall out. Later, Tuka is beaten by Yuna because he stares at Yuna's thigh, and when he wakes up the next day, he finds that all the flesh and blood on his body have disappeared, leaving only his skeleton. Just then, he discovers that Yuna wants to take a bath by the river, so he takes off his clothes and pretends to be the skeleton of a dead man, intending to peek at Yuna's bathing. However, Yuna notices it. She is so angry that she almost buries Tuka alive. Since Tuka is a skeleton now, it is impossible for him to meet the king with such an appearance. Anri comforts Tuka, saying that although his body is a skeleton, he still retains his 5 senses as normal, and no matter what Tuka becomes, she will always be by his side, even if they are so poor that they need to eat wild vegetables in the mountains every day. Looking at the colorful wild vegetables in Anri's hand, Tuka thinks of a good plan. He recognizes the colorful wild vegetables in Anri's hand, from which the paint can be extracted. So he first turns the sacred sword into a mask, and then uses the paint to draw the face on the mask. After that, he puts the mask on his face. Soon after, Tuka comes to the palace in the royal capital and meets the king. He says that he runs out of money for his trip and hopes to get some money. However, the king thinks he is just joking because after sealing the Hell's Gate 3 years ago, the hero was the only one who didn't ask for any reward. He misunderstands that the reason why the hero came is that he wants to fulfill his promise to marry his daughter Marguerite 3 years ago. Tuka wants to refuse, but seeing the king's fierce look, Tuka is frightened and quickly agrees, thinking that he can find a way to ask the king for money later. After that, Tuka is taken to the door of Marguerite's room, and based on the king's gorilla-like appearance, he thinks his daughter will definitely be ugly. What he doesn't expect is that Marguerite is a beautiful girl, which excites Tuka. Because of sweat, the paint on Tuka's mask melts, leaving only a strange face, and the beautiful princess is frightened. Tuka quickly takes off his mask and begins to lie, saying that he has become a skeleton because he was cursed, and that he has put on the mask in order not to scare others. Marguerite is kind-hearted and believes in Tuka's words. She adores the hero so much, and she once told the hero not to show up if he wasn't ready to marry her. Now that Hero is here, it means that Hero is willing to marry her. So Marguerite treats him like a future husband, and she makes a request to Tuka, inviting him to go on a date with her at the masquerade festival held by the royal capital several days later. To help Tuka hide his secret, Marguerite decides to help him make a new mask. After that, Tuka finds that Marguerite's behavior is very strange. Though she has an ample body, she eats dozens of times more and faster than ordinary people. Every time she finishes the meal, she will become a little fat person, and this situation will last for a while. Under the explanation of Marguerite's mentor Isaac, Tuka learns that Marguerite is suffering from a strange illness and cannot store mana and energy. Therefore, she has to eat a lot to maintain her physical strength, and under the advice of the doctor, she was trained to speed up eating. Tuka doesn't dislike Marguerite in her fat state because he is obsessed with the fleshy thigh. This makes Marguerite like Tuka more. Meanwhile, Yuna and Anri are waiting for news from Tuka, and they also see the announcement that a masquerade festival will be held in a few days. Just as the two are discussing whether to participate in the festival, a man named Leland appears and reveals the identity of Anri as a necromancer. Leland is a doctor and the leader of a nearby orphanage. As I mentioned earlier, necromancers are not allowed to exist in this country. Leland feels that there must be something very important for Anri to come to the royal capital at risk of exposing her identity. He does not despise necromancers like others and is willing to help Anri hide her identity. These words make Anri let her guard down against Leland, who takes the opportunity to ask Anri the purpose of coming to the royal capital, while Yuna has not yet fully believed the man in front of her, so she lies that they are here to find a way to improve their mana. Hearing this, Leland takes out a bottle of magic potion, and tells them that if they drink this potion, they can increase their mana by 3 levels. Anri thinks that Tuka will be able to recover by drinking this potion, but this potion is very expensive. Even if they go hunting demons to make money, it is still not enough. At this moment, Leland suddenly proposes that as long as Anri can let him see her body, he can help pay for the potion. Yuna thinks that Leland is a pervert and wants to offer her body in place of Anri. Unexpectedly, Leland immediately explains that he just wants to study how magic crystals work in place of hearts. After the misunderstanding is dissolved, Yuna and Anri intend to hunt some demons to earn money first, and Anri takes out a sexy suit that Tuka specially designed for Yuna. The back of the suit is inlaid with a magic crystal, which Yuna can use to cast skills. Since this suit is too revealing, Yuna puts on other clothes. Before they can begin their demon hunt, they are ambushed by a group of mysterious men, and they call their leader the Skeleton Man. Meanwhile, Marguerite goes to the city as usual to see her exclusive doctor, while Tuka sneaks out of the palace intending to find Yuna and Anri to explain the situation. He looks for them everywhere, but to no avail, and after inquiring with the residents, he learns that they went in the direction of the orphanage. Tuka hurries there, only to see Marguerite at the orphanage. It turns out that the leader of the orphanage is Marguerite's exclusive doctor. Marguerite thinks that the hero is worried about her, so he comes to find her, which makes her very happy. Tuka asks Leland if he has seen Yuna and Anri, and is relieved to learn that the two go hunting demons. If something really happens to Anri, something will definitely happen to his body. After that, he goes back to the palace with Marguerite. Just after they leave, Leland shows a very strange expression on his face. It turns out that Leland is the skeleton man who kidnapped Anri and Yuna, and he locks them in the basement of the orphanage. At this moment, he stares at Yuna's thigh and is very excited, whispering, "I have never seen such a beautiful femur." Leland is a pervert obsessed with bones. In his opinion, human flesh is filthy, and only bones are clean and flawless. At the masquerade festival a few days later, he will manipulate his skeleton men to cause chaos, while he will turn Princess Marguerite into a beautiful skeleton. He thinks this is a salvation for humans. It seems that Marguerite's strange illness is also a conspiracy of Leland. Although Leland is perverted, he is highly intelligent. The reason why he kidnapped Anri and Yuna is that after the plan succeeds, he will use Yuna as a hostage and blame the necromancer Anri for all this. He even thinks that meeting Anri at this time must have been a gift from God. Soon, the day of the masquerade festival comes, at which the hero is fine even if he doesn't wear the mask. Tuka still doesn't realize that his two companions are kidnapped, and he is now happily dating Marguerite on the street. But because Isaac is always with them, Tuka feels very uncomfortable. Isaac states that he is protecting the princess, and he even suspects that Tuka might also have some evil thoughts about Marguerite. His words make Marguerite so angry that she slaps Isaac. She does not allow anyone to slander her future husband. Seeing Tuka and Marguerite leaving and holding hands, Isaac shows a fierce expression on his face. In fact, he already knows that Tuka is not the hero from 3 years ago. If he says it now, Marguerite will not believe it, so he decides to secretly observe Tuka in an attempt to find his flaws. Meanwhile, Marguerite and Tuka are having fun, and they participate in a game of shooting apples. Tuka is tied to a tree with an apple on his head, and then Marguerite shoots the arrow. As long as she can hit the apple, she wins. Tuka thinks that Marguerite, as a noble princess, does not know martial arts at all, while he himself is a skeleton, so even if he is shot, he will not die. But to his surprise, Marguerite shoots the apple accurately. Because of winning the game, they get a lot of apples, all of which are eaten by Marguerite alone, and she becomes fat. It turns out that she participated in this game just now because she was very hungry. Tuka is curious about why Marguerite can shoot arrows, and Marguerite explains that since she was a child, in addition to learning knowledge, she also trains in martial arts every day in order to become the wife of the hero. At this time, the memory of 3 years ago floods into Marguerite's mind. At that time, she told the hero not to meet her again if they couldn't have a future together. Hearing this, the hero left without hesitation. But even so, she still took hard training every day in order to match the hero. Deep down, she has always longed for the hero to return. The memory ends here. Marguerite and Tuka have a great day. In the evening, Marguerite takes Tuka to a high platform, and she is very happy to date him as a female companion. Looking at the shy expression on Marguerite's face, Tuka has a strange idea in his mind. If I ask her to put on the black stockings now, she will definitely agree. The next moment, he crouches down and is about to put the black stockings on Marguerite, but he is interrupted by the fireworks in the sky. This is the final part of the masquerade festival. Since everyone is wearing a mask, they can find their destined partner without being disturbed by their appearance. Tuka can't help but lament that the fireworks are so beautiful, and it is his first time seeing this. His words make Marguerite alerted since she and the hero saw the fireworks together 3 years ago. Along the way, she has always felt something wrong. The hero in front of her is completely different from the hero 3 years ago, even forgetting the agreement they made before. Just then, Isaac shows up with a female knight of the kingdom, and the female knight can tell that Tuka is actually a skeleton with just a glance. This hero is a fake, and the real hero has already been dead. Now that the fact has been revealed, Tuka hastens to tell them what happened to him, but even though what Tuka said is true, he can be sentenced to death for using necromancy to pretend to be the hero. Marguerite can't accept the fact that the hero is dead, and she runs away, feeling extremely sad. If the hero is dead, what's the meaning of what she has done for so many years to become the hero's wife? Just then, Leland discovers the princess. Seeing the sad expression on her face, he comforts her. "Don't worry, I'll help you." Meanwhile, Isaac receives the news from his subordinate that many demons show up in the city. Just when they are thinking about how to deal with it, Tuka takes the chance and runs away, saying that he is not escaping, but is going to bring the princess back. After taking Marguerite to a remote corner, Leland shows his true colors. He intends to strip Marguerite off her flesh and skin, making her free from all. Just when Marguerite is desperate, Tuka arrives. The behavior of Tuka risking his life to save her makes Marguerite so touched. But unfortunately, Tuka is so weak that he is easily defeated, with his head cut off. Luckily, Tuka is just a dead body, so even if his head is cut off, he will not die. Soon after, Isaac discovers Tuka in his search for the princess, and they learn from Tuka that Leland kidnaps the princess. Tuka says that saving the princess has always been the responsibility of the hero, and if he can save the princess, he can prove that he has the strength of the hero and can survive. Now they don't know where Marguerite was taken, and after investigation, they discover a secret base under Leland's orphanage. At Tuka's suggestion, Isaac and the female knight pretend to be captured by him, and Tuka uses the appearance of a skeleton to pretend to be Leland's subordinate. Finally, they successfully infiltrate the secret base under Leland's orphanage. While they are discussing where to go next to find the princess, Yuna breaks the wall and appears. It turns out that Yuna saw Leland leave not long ago, so she activated the magic crystal hidden in her clothes to deal with Leland's subordinate. Knowing that the princess is kidnapped, Yuna takes them to find the subordinate knocked down by her. They force him to tell Anri's and the princess's whereabouts. After that, they rescue Anri and then find the princess location. Meanwhile, Leland is having a strange ritual. Leland's family has a special mask, and he can see the skeleton beneath people's flesh and blood through the magic crystal on the mask. He finds that without flesh and blood, everyone is basically the same, and he thinks it is the flesh and blood that cause the difference in people's appearance, which is also the reason why so many unfair things will happen. To create a world without dispute and unfairness, he will strip everyone off their flesh. During the process, he falls in love with Marguerite, so he will marry her after everything is done. Just when he is about to start the ritual, Tuka shows up with Yuna and knocks him down. Leland wants to control his subordinates to fight back, only to find that at the moment he was distracted. Anri has controlled these skeletons with necromancy. Seeing Leland escape, Yuna quickly catches up and pushes him down. Just when she thinks Leland has failed, Leland summons many bones to grab her. It turns out that this was originally a graveyard, and the corpses underground become Leland's powerful force. Soon, he drinks many bottles of potions that can increase the level of his mana, and he is completely crazy at the moment, regardless of whether his body can withstand this power. After the level of his mana has increased, his skeleton subordinates also become very powerful. To save the princess, Isaac is slashed and is seriously injured. Seeing that everyone is no match for Leland, Tuka turns the sacred sword into a wall to confuse the enemies, and then flees away with others for the time being. At Tuka's suggestion, they decide to mislead Leland with fake bloodstains, buying time for them to think of a plan to deal with Leland. Anri is curious about why Tuka can think of a way to survive every time while he is just an ordinary villager, as he did when confronting Kyle before. Tuka explains that he experienced a war with his parents before, in which his mother died and his father disappeared, and it took him a full year to flee from the battlefield and return to his hometown. The experience of running and hiding has kept in his mind until now. But now it is not the time to talk about this, and they need to make a plan to deal with Leland. Anri inadvertently says that if they can get the potions in Leland's hand, Tuka's body can gain the power of the hero. At this time, Isaac says that there's another way to increase mana. Marguerite's strange illness will expel the mana inside her body via bodily fluids, which are even more powerful than the potions that Leland drank just now. In theory, Marguerite's sweat, tears, snot, and even urine possess strong mana, and now the best way for Tuka to increase mana is to let him drink Marguerite's bodily fluids.
Marguerite can't immediately shed tears, sweat, and have a runny nose, and now the only way is to let Tuka drink Marguerite's urine, which is unexpectedly agreed by Tuka. Tuka's words are a bit perverted, but to survive and to save those innocent civilians hurt by Leland, Marguerite tells Tuka to close his eyes and lay down, deciding to allow him to drink her urine. Just as Marguerite is about to take off her pants, Tuka stops her. It occurs to him that Leland is not a real necromancer, and that he will not be able to control the skeletons if his magic crystal is broken. So Tuka changes out of his original clothes and pretends to be Leland's skeleton subordinate, looking for an opportunity to approach Leland. After he attracts Leland's attention, Marguerite shoots arrows in the distant mountains, shattering the magic crystal in Leland's hand. After losing control of the skeletons, Leland is quickly defeated by Tuka. Just when they think the crisis is over, another red-headed devil appears in the forest. This devil is so powerful that Tuka, in order to protect Marguerite, has half of his head shot off by a laser shot by the devil. Luckily, Tuka is just a corpse and does not die immediately. Everyone begins to join forces against the devil, but unfortunately, they are no match for it at all. Now the only one who can save everyone is the hero who has regained his strength. Marguerite wants to use her urine to help Tuka restore his mana, but she is too nervous to pee. At this moment, Tuka passes out because of his injuries, and Marguerite thinks that Tuka is dead. During the days she spent with Tuka, she has fallen in love with him, and she confesses loudly to Tuka, crying sadly. The tears drip into Tuka's mouth, allowing Tuka to restore his mana. In this way, Tuka regains his strength and turns into a powerful hero, turning the sacred sword in his hand into a huge thigh and directly killing the red-headed devil. After the incident, Leland is put in jail. Marguerite's strange illness is accidentally cured because she shed tears that had been accumulated for 10 years. To thank Tuka and his companions, Marguerite gives Tuka all the magic potions she has obtained. The king also gives them a carriage powered by mana. After that, they embark on their adventures again. Tuka must go to the Hell's Gate as soon as possible as a hero. He must destroy the devils there and close the Hell's Gate to complete the quest of the hero. Only in this way can he return to his original body. Interestingly, Marguerite sneaks into their carriage. Marguerite is already in love with Tuka, and she vows to marry the hero. Along the way, she trains Tuka's swordsmanship every day, hoping that Tuka will marry her as soon as possible after completing the mission. Henri is very jealous of this, and the two often fight over Tuka. Seeing them fight for Tuka, Yuna feels a bit unhappy. At night, when Yuna is changing clothes after taking a shower, she finds Tuka who comes to peek. Now she can't hold back her emotions anymore, and she angrily accuses Tuka of doing such strange things with his hero's body all day. At the critical moment, Tuka is always not by her side. And where was he when she was in danger 3 years ago? Does he really care how she feels? After saying this, Yuna runs away. She runs to a nearby town and finds that the residents here pounce on her just like zombies. When Tuka catches up with her, Yuna has been bitten by the zombie. She senses that she is about to mutate, so she breaks free from Tuka and walks towards the zombies. Afraid of being an encumbrance to Tuka, she says that she hates him, hoping that Tuka will give up on her. However, Tuka doesn't do so. Instead, he tries his best to attack the zombies, which touches Yuna. Unfortunately, Tuka has little mana left, so he is totally no match for these zombies. Just when he can't resist, a red-haired man named Belarco appears and defeats these zombies. Meanwhile, Henri and Marguerite are also attacked by zombies. As soon as they defeat the zombies, Tuka returns with Yuna. Yuna is already in a coma, and Tuka is afraid that if he tells Henri and Marguerite that Yuna is infected, they will kill her. So he doesn't tell them about this, only saying that Yuna has a cold. In order to help Yuna recover, Tuka decides to stay and find the culprit who turns the residents into zombies. Belarco, who rescued Tuka not long ago, proposes to go to the town leader's house, where there are many survivors. Because Belarco just saved Tuka, Tuka follows his advice. Soon they arrive. Due to the high walls of the town leader's house, the zombies cannot enter. Seeing the hero come, the villagers here think Tuka comes to save them. One of the villagers, a yellow-haired boy, was a subordinate of Leland and was once beaten up by Yuna. He notices that Yuna seems to be infected, and in order to take revenge, he deliberately points out that Yuna is infected. For the sake of the safety of others, he decides to kill Yuna directly. His actions arouse the wrath of Tuka, who knocks the yellow-haired boy to the ground and vows to keep Yuna safe. Only then do Henri and Marguerite learn that Tuka has just deceived them. Henri says she will never give up on Yuna. Just then, Yuna's body mutates, and she begins to attack Tuka. At the critical moment, Henri casts necromancy to calm Yuna. Seeing Yuna return to normal, the surrounding residents are relieved. the town leader arranges a room for Tuka. With Anri's explanation, Tuka finally understands that Yuna's spirit is controlled and she is now in a corpse-like state.
So Anri's necromancy can work on her. As long as they can find the culprit who cast the spell,
they can return Yuna and the zombies to normal. Now it is dark everywhere and they can't see clearly,
so they decide to look for the culprit in daytime.
In order to better control Yuna's body, Anri swaps the souls of Tuka and Yuna, and Tuka's consciousness enters Yuna's body. Tuka wants to secretly touch Yuna's body during this time, but is discovered by Marguerite. To prevent Tuka from doing such strange behaviors, Marguerite and Anri decide to stay by Tuka's side all the time, whether bathing or sleeping. The two girls are always with Tuka. In order to keep Tuka from messing around, Marguerite ties Tuka directly with a rope before going to bed. This makes Tuka's plan a complete failure. Just as they are about to sleep, there is an explosion outside. It turns out that some devils have broken the walls of the town leader's house, allowing the zombies to enter here. Most of the survivors here are infected. The town leader quickly takes the uninfected people to a safe house that he has prepared in advance. Anri guesses that it is most likely a high-ranked devil who caused the disaster. Using the X-ray spell crystal obtained from Leland, Tuka sees the location and number of devils.
Just as they are discussing how to defeat these devils, the devils break the ground and rush out. The high-ranked demon directly speaks out the name of the hero and attacks the hero's body.
It seems that this disaster in the town is aimed at the hero.
Fortunately, now the body of the hero can be regenerated as long as it doesn't encounter very special attacks.
Everyone quickly launches a counterattack against the devils.
One of the devils grabs Marguerite's body, and Marguerite casts an undressing spell to dodge the attack, leaving her clothes in place and escaping without clothes on.
The devils continue to pursue them, and they are no match for the devils at all. In a hurry, Tuka picks up the hero's sacred sword and launches an attack on the devils, directly killing one of the devils in seconds.
This makes Marguerite very puzzled.
How could Tuka, who is now possessing Yuna's body, use the sacred sword? Marguerite guesses that Tuka has been chosen by God to be the next hero. Together,
they defeat several devils in front of them,
and at this time,
they discover that the high-ranked devil has fled.
When they catch up with it, a necromancer, Diego, appears next to the high-ranked devil. It turns out that the culprit who turned the residents into zombies is Diego. He, like Anri, came out of the Hell's Gate 3 years ago and was caught and tortured by humans because of his status as a necromancer.
The difference between him and Anri is that Anri became the hero's companion after she was saved by Hero, while Diego was tortured by humans and finally escaped after he found an opportunity.
Since then, Diego has had hatred towards humans and wanted to take revenge on the world. When he hears that there is a new hero who intends to go to the Hell's Gate, he sets traps on the way,
and he has seen through that Tuka is hiding in Yuna's body.
Diego summons nearby zombies to attack Tuka. Tuka originally wants to slowly deplete Diego's mana, but Anri tells him that Necromancer who came out of hell is stronger than the average human, so their level of mana can reach 40, while that of humans can only reach 10. Although Anri is also a Necromancer, she is the weakest, so they can't defeat Diego by consuming his mana. Fortunately, Tuka has already thought of a way before he came. He transforms the holy sword into a wall, trapping the zombies inside. Then he starts talking to Diego, stalling for time. Not long after, the town leader suddenly appears in the magic carriage and crashes into Diego. Not long ago, Tuka promised the town leader that if he was willing to help attack the enemy, Tuka would show him the look of Marguerite wearing black stockings without clothes on. When Marguerite learns about this, she is very angry. Tuka still underestimates Diego's strength. He is not defeated at all and stands up again. Just when they are about to fight, a girl who claims herself to be a hero appears. Tuka recognizes her as Yuna's sister, Millie, who is accompanied by 3 teammates. The warrior is Yuna's father, Fieri, and the other 2 are magicians. Under their combined forces, Diego is suppressed, and seeing that he cannot kill the hero today, Diego intends to leave first. However, before leaving, he tells Tuka that the people here are cursed by the devil conversion spell, and if their level of mana is too low, they will be zombies forever after a day. Yuna has a low level in her mana, so she will become a zombie after a day. To save Yuna, Tuka decides to find Diego's stronghold and defeat him. He guesses that Diego is hiding in a destroyed city nearby, which is also Tuka and Yuna's hometown. So Tuka and his companions head to find Diego with Millie, and in the car, they introduce themselves. Millie is 16 years old, and she is Fieri's daughter, just like Yuna. The difference between them is that Fieri is very opposed to Yuna going out on an adventure, and he warns Yuna that she must return to the countryside after this incident. Fieri has very special experiences, and he was one of the 4 knights of the kingdom before, because he likes touching women's bodies. He was later condemned by the female knight of the kingdom, and was finally stripped of the title of the 4 knights. The 2 magicians were once the teammates of the hero, but it seems that they don't like Anri, who once teamed up with them.
Fieri is curious about why the hero and Yuna are together,
and Tuka quickly avoids the question with an excuse.
He hides the fact that he is now in Yuna's body, but is almost recognized by Millie because he speaks in a tone that resembles Tuka's.
Millie has been very fond of Tuka since she was a child, and always wants to marry him. Different from Millie, Fieri, as their father, seems to hate Tuka very much,
thinking that Tuka is a pervert who loves thighs.
However, Fieri, who loves women with ample bodies, is no better than him. Tuka wants to ask Millie why she claims herself to be a hero, but just then, they are ambushed.
It turns out the reason why Diego left the words before leaving is that he wants to lure Tuka to come to him.
Diego finds a female thief who is very good at making traps to ambush Tuka and his companions, causing Tuka's magic carriage to be broken after it falls into the trap. After they get out of the carriage, they find dense fog everywhere. Millie doesn't take it seriously, but then she is ambushed by devils while exploring the way, and most of her clothes are torn.
Tuka and his companions hasten to form a circle to prevent another attack.
The female thief,
who is not affected by the dense fog because she is standing high,
sees all this clearly and sends many devils to attack them. Soon, Tuka's team is attacked, and many of them are defeated, leaving Tuka alone. Just as the female thief is about to kill Tuka, he smiles. The next moment,
all of his teammates who fell to the ground just now stand up, and the devils who just besieged them all fall to the ground. It turns out that Tuka,
using the X-ray magic crystal,
has long known the location of these devils. So when these devils attacked,
Tuka's teammates defeated the devil first, and then pretended to fall. After that, Henry controlled the devils with necromancy.
Tuka threatens the female thief to take off all the clothes and kneel to him in knee-high socks if she wants to survive.
He then approaches the female thief,
and when he sees the female thief's face, he instantly kneels down in fear. It turns out that this female thief is actually Tuka's master.
3.5 years ago, the Hell's Gate was opened, and many devils appeared in the world. After Tuka's parents died,
he decided to return to his hometown.
However, he accidentally fell into the female thief's trap,
which she prepared to deal with the devils.
The female thief looks very cold,
but she is actually very kind. Seeing that the little boy Tuka was unsupported, she took him as an apprentice.
Now Tuka is still in Yuna's body,
and he tells his master about his experiences recently. Only then does Millie realize that the sister in front of her is Tuka, who she has been missing. Tuka wonders why the female thief teams up with the person who has joined forces with the devil. The female thief tells Tuka that she went to the Hell's Gate 3 months ago,
and since then,
she has decided to help them get their revenge.
When Tuka goes to see the Hell's Gate, he will know why. The female thief admits that she lost to Tuka this time, and when she is about to leave, Tuka stops her.
According to the rules that Tuka's master once taught him, the loser can only die or agree to the demands made by the winner.
Just now, Tuka asked the female thief to put on the knee-high socks nakedly. In the end, the female thief has to do so, which shocks Tuka's teammates. After that,
the female thief temporarily joins his team at Tuka's request.
Now they are still far from Diego's territory. Under the guidance of the female thief,
they intend to go to a nearby repairman to repair the magic carriage.
The repairman here is an old man,
who is coincidentally the grandfather of the hero.
He has very bad eyesight, and will even pour on other people's heads while pouring tea. After feeling the aura of the hero,
he is willing to help repair the magic carriage.
During this time,
Tuka finally has time to ask Millie why she calls herself a hero. Millie tells Tuka that the sword she is holding is called the man-made sacred sword. This is the reward that she received after winning the sword fighting tournament in the Western Kingdom.
It is made by the world's top craftsmen, and there are only 4 in the world.
Although the man-made sacred sword cannot seal the Hell's Gate, it can cause damage to the Dark Lord and his 4 infernal generals.
So Millie thinks she's a hero. At this time,
the female thief tells everyone that according to what she learns, there are thousands of devils in the city and 4 powerful necromancers who control the bodies of the 4 infernal generals in Diego's stronghold.
With the power of Tuka and his teammates, it is highly unlikely for them to defeat them. Unexpectedly, Tuka, who was timid in the past, is very determined to go this time, saying that he has someone he really wants to save this time. Soon after, Millie finds Tuka, and she already guesses that the person Tuka is trying to save is Yuna. After some asking, she finally knows that Yuna was infected and will turn into a zombie if Diego is not defeated. Just then, Millie suddenly attacks Tuka, who has too little mana to use the sacred sword and is quickly defeated. Millie taunts Tuka, saying, "How can you save Yuna if you are so weak?" Tuka says that even so, he will still go to Yuna's rescue, even if he tries every despicable means. At this time, Millie smiles, and it turns out that it was all Millie's test for him just now. Yuna once said that 3 years ago, it was the hero who saved her and Millie. Millie asked the hero about this after being rescued, and the hero told her that if someone hadn't set many traps nearby to trap the devils, he wouldn't have had a chance to save them. Now it seems clear that the person who set the trap is Tuka. Millie believes that Tuka will be able to save Yuna again. Tuka says that he could only stall for time before, but now it is different since he has so many companions, and he will definitely save Yuna this time. After that, Tuka says that he wants to go to the loo, so he sneaks to a corner without anyone around. Before saving Yuna, he wants to enjoy touching her thighs. Just when he is immersed in the joy, someone approaches him. A red finger touches Tuka's head, and the next moment, Tuka enters another world. This is a world of Tuka's memories, and in this world, his father is a fierce scum who often vents his anger toward Tuka and his mother. His father, in order to make money, even took them to the center of the battlefield when the devils were invading. In the end, Tuka's mother died, and his father disappeared. Since Tuka is now possessing Yuna's body, Yuna's consciousness can also see Tuka's memories. Not long ago, she overheard Millie and Tuka's conversation and learned that Tuka had made a lot of effort to save her. Now Yuna's dissatisfaction with Tuka has all disappeared, and she feels bad for his experience. Yuna's consciousness can talk to Tuka, and with Yuna's encouragement and comfort, Tuka gradually gets rid of pain. Just as the two reconcile, a red devil appears. It turns out that what Tuka experienced just now are dreams created by the red devil. He wants to make Tuka suffer until he collapses in his dream, but to his surprise, Tuka overcomes this. Because Tuka now possesses Yuna's body, the red devil can't see Yuna's consciousness, and he thinks that it was Tuka who broke the dream himself. The red devil doesn't want to trick them anymore, intending to kill Tuka directly. He is invincible in his dream, and he can know Tuka's thoughts immediately. Therefore, he easily blocks Tuka's attack. Fortunately, at the critical moment, Tuka discovers that the red devil cannot see Yuna, so he gives up thinking and allows Yuna to control his body to attack the red devil. Since the red devil cannot foresee Tuka's attack through his thoughts, he is eventually defeated by Tuka and Yuna. After that, they escape the dreams created by the red devil. Interestingly, when Tuka returns to the real world, he finds that he can see Yuna's consciousness, but others can't. Just then, Tuka's other companions arrive. They are also attacked by different devils, which are sent by Diego, and luckily, they defeat them. In order to get rid of the devil's attacks, Anri asks Tuka to return to the body of the hero. Tuka tells everyone about his experience that he was attacked by the devil in the dream, and that he could see Yuna's consciousness. Anri speculates that Tuka may have been able to see Yuna because he possessed Yuna's body for a long time, which connects their spirits. Now there is only less than 1 day left before Yuna completely turns into a zombie, and the most important thing now is to defeat the devil which turned Yuna into a zombie so that Yuna can return to normal. To keep Yuna still after she becomes a zombie, Tuka ties her body up. It is seen by Yuna's father, Fieri, and Tuka can only tell all of his experiences to him. Knowing his daughter's situation, Fieri doesn't blame Tuka. Instead, he decides to help Tuka save his daughter with all his might. Now the magic carriage is repaired, and they immediately head to Diego's stronghold. After they arrive, Tuka's master, the female thief, unexpectedly kills Tuka. She tells the devil that she doesn't betray Diego, and that she has been lurking around Tuka waiting for an opportunity. After checking the hero's body and confirming that the hero is dead, the devil believes in the female thief. In fact, all of this is Tuka's plan. Just now, Tuka's consciousness in the hero's body has returned to his original body. He once lived in this city, so he is very familiar with it. Now he is taking Anri into the sewers of the city, ready to sneak into the center of the city to find the devil which turns Yuna into a zombie. Coincidentally, he encounters 2 devils which come to patrol, so he asks Anri to cast her skill to let his and her consciousness possess the 2 devils. They use the 2 devils' bodies as a disguise and successfully approach the high-ranked devil which casts the zombie magic. Just when Tuka is about to use tricks to defeat the high-ranked devil, a new necromancer appears and stops them. Luckily, Tuka returns to his original body in time and avoids being killed. Just then, Anri excitedly calls him brother, and it turns out that this necromancer is Anri's brother, Friedrich. Friedrich is surprised that Anri has become a companion of the hero. 3 years ago, the necromancers were persecuted by humans and basically all died. Only the powerful necromancers survived, and from that day on, Friedrich is full of hatred for humans. He vows to defeat humanity once and for all and let necromancers rule the world, and then he'll create a world where necromancers can live in peace. Anri was saved by the hero, so she doesn't agree with her brother. She thinks humans are not all bad, and she promised the hero that she will help him defeat the devils. Just as they are arguing, Diego shows up. Now he is controlling one of the bodies of the 4 demon generals, which directly eats the high-ranked devil to absorb its energy. If Tuka wants to save Yuna, he must defeat Diego. At this time, Tuka offers to have a one-on-one duel with Diego, who accepts the duel because he wants to defeat the hero himself. Tuka decides to fight at the top of a nearby tower. Actually, this is also Tuka's plan, and he has set a trap here. Just when he is knocked down by Diego, the floor under Diego's feet cracks, and Diego falls to the bottom. The female thief controls the devil she captures to attack Diego. When Diego can't move, Tuka's consciousness returns to the hero's body. He drinks a potion to replenish his mana, and then launches a final attack on Diego. Just when everyone thinks Diego has been defeated, Tuka's arm is suddenly cut off. He quickly gets his arm back. It turns out that everything just now was a trick of Diego. The controlled dead body of the demon general has the ability to absorb all the energy, and the attack just now didn't injure him. Seeing everything goes wrong, Tuka quickly takes everyone to flee. But he can't figure out that if the demon general can really absorb all the energy, how could the real hero kill him? At this time, Yuna's consciousness tells Tuka that she saw the hero fighting the demon general before. At that time, the hero split his sacred sword into many tendrils. Tuka seems to think of something. To verify his idea, he lures Diego to an empty place and then speaks to attract his attention. At this moment, Marguerite shoots an arrow from a place that Diego can't see and successfully hurts him. It turns out that as long as the demon general's body can't predict the opponent's attack, he can't absorb the energy, and the hero took advantage of this to defeat it. Tuka also intends to defeat Diego like this. He connects with Yuna's consciousness so that he can have a larger range of vision. During the battle against Diego, Tuka discovers that the controlled demon general's weak point is its head, so he intends to consume Diego's mana before finding an opportunity to attack the weak point. Just when Diego has fewer and fewer mana, Tuka suddenly falls to the ground. It turns out that he has drunk too many potions to increase his mana, and affected by the side effects, he is now almost unable to hold on. At the critical moment, someone comes to help Tuka. To everyone's surprise, the one who comes to help is Kyle, who was once defeated by Tuka. It turns out that not long ago, Belarco and the town leader rushed back to the royal capital after parting with Tuka and told the king what had happened here. The king has sent a large number of reinforcements here, and now the devils outside have been almost wiped out. Kyle has repented since he was last defeated by Tuka, and now he wants to defeat Diego. Though surrounded by others, Diego is not panicked at all. He kills the devils around him with his skills and absorbs their energy to strengthen himself. During the battle, Kyle is suppressed by Diego, and even his clothes are torn. Barring accidents, he will be soon defeated. Meanwhile, Tuka wakes up from a strange world. He thinks he is dead, but suddenly he notices the hero. Currently, the hero shows up in the form of his consciousness, and he tells Tuka that this is the world inside the sacred sword. Instead of blaming Tuka for accidentally killing him, the hero thanks Tuka. During this time, he saw what Tuka has done for the world through the sacred sword. He tells Tuka that the sacred sword has chosen him to be the next hero, and that's why Tuka will appear in this space now. Tuka is not really dead, and he is now in a state of fake death. If he intends to stay in the world inside the sacred sword, he will be able to travel to his dream world, a world full of beautiful thighs. If he returns to the real world, he will be in danger. Surprisingly, Tuka chooses the former without hesitation because he once promised Yuna that he would protect her this time. At this time, Yuna's consciousness shouts next to Tuka's body that she is willing to sacrifice anything as long as Tuka can wake up. Hearing this, Tuka says, "Can you put on the black silk stockings and let me rub your thighs 100 times? Yuna subconsciously agrees. The next moment, Tuka stands up, and he puts the remaining consciousness of the hero into his original body. Now the hero's consciousness and Tuka's body are fighting Diego at the same time. The hero is really powerful, and even if he does not use his own body, he has still shown super combat power. With his swordsmanship, he breaks the energy-providing magic crystal on Diego's chest. The next moment, Tuka uses the sacred sword to completely defeat the powerful Diego with everyone's cooperation. When Yuna wakes up, she throws herself in Tuka's arms in tears. Tuka kept his promise to save Yuna, and he asks Yuna to keep her promise to let him rub her thighs. Yuna hesitates for a long time, but finally agrees. When Tuka is about to enjoy touching her thighs, he suddenly remembers that the hero can see everything here through the sacred sword, and quickly throws it out. Yuna learns that the hero may have seen her just now and runs away shyly. Soon after, Marguerite finds Yuna. She can tell that Yuna has a crush on Tuka, and she formally challenges Yuna to see who can become Tuka's wife in the end. Anri, who is hiding on the side, also appears, and she says that she will also join the battle to win the heart of Tuka. All three girls want to become Tuka's wife. At the end of the story, the hero's consciousness goes into Tuka's body, telling Tuka that he can't seal the Hell's Gate with his current mana level, and in order for Tuka to increase his mana level, he asks Tuka to meet a man named the Sage. The hero can't possess Tuka's body for a long time, so he asks his former teammate to lead the way for Tuka. After that, Tuka embarks on his journey to find the sage with his 3 girlfriends, and they will continue their adventures on the way. That brings the end of this anime. Tuka, though lecherous and lazy, grows up rapidly in one adventure after another. Although he has many shortcomings, he is kind in nature, for which the Sacred Sword has chosen him to be the next hero, and the 3 girls gradually fall in love with him. I hope you guys can also find your own merits and become a hero in the real world. The anime of this season is coming to an end. Which anime do you want to see? Comment below to tell me, and I'll make a recap as soon as possible. Also, a new season of anime is coming, and it is said that there will be many sequels. Do you like it? Feel free to tell me in the comments section. Thanks for your support, and see you next time.